back? All right. I'm going to basically yell for the next 45 minutes, but yell in like a nice way. All right. Hey, well, welcome to Camp Building Leaders. I'm so grateful to be here. I met Tracy. Our kids actually went to school together at Sunny Slope. I hear there's one Sunny Slope person here. Where's the Slope person? Wait, there's how many? Three. Yes! Way to represent, Slope. All right, well, hey, let's hear from some of the other schools. Apollo, where are you? All right, Washington. Washington, anybody? Okay, let's see, Moon Valley. They're not here. Oh, Moon Valley's not here. Yeah. Oh, okay, all right, so let's see, Greenway. All right, we got Greenway. What about Thunderbird? Anybody from Thunderbird? Oh. Oh, wait, we got one. We got one. All right, there we go. Independence. Okay, all right, let's see. Cortez. Oh. Yeah. All right, we got one more. Glendale. All right. Excellent. Well, Washington. All right, that's a lot better. Well, as I was thinking about, well, who can I bring with me that can really help us throughout our time together here at Camp Friendly Pines, I thought of this guy. Do you guys know who this guy is? So this is Russell. He's a wilderness explorer. And Russell has worked to earn so many badges. You can see that. Like, look at all those badges he has.
That's already me today. That was me today.
You already earned those badges?
Oh, no, not the badges.
Oh, but that was you.
That was me.
Wilderness explorer. Yeah. Well, I invited him to come with us today because we're going to go on a journey. And in as much as we are just learning how to be leaders, he has a task. Because he has one more badge he needs to earn. Do you guys remember what the badge is that he needs to earn? Yeah, assisting the elder. Great job. Nice. So assisting the elderly, he's got to earn this badge. So he's going to go with us, and he's going to work on that badge. I'm so glad that you guys have seen the movie Up, because if you hadn't seen it, this would be really boring and a little bit weird. So I'm glad that you guys are coming along with me. So now that you know a little bit about him, he's going to help us navigate throughout our time together. Let me tell you a little bit about me. So I'm Joe Maxton. This is my family. So at the back right there, that's my son, Eli. He just went away to ASU. In front of him, that's Mars. He goes to Sunny Slope. So thanks for being here, Slope, to represent. And then their mom, she's actually here with me. This is my ex-wife. And we're... Yeah. Just to make it weird, I brought my ex-wife with me. So a little bit, it sounds like, oh, pretty cool, but let's talk a little bit more about up here. So those are my pups on the left-hand side. The one in the front is, that's Scout, and then Olive's at the back. And then at the top, Cookies. So look, being a Maxton in our house, there are two things that are required to be a Maxton. One, to love bell peppers. And that's her fault. Now, the other thing is to love chocolate chip cookies. And that's my fault. So yes, you are a Maxton right away. Yeah, if you love chocolate chip cookies, you were in the Maxton family. Yeah, they are amazing dogs. They love to chill. They're right next to me. So during pandemic, we decided to perfect our family recipe. So we actually have Maxton cookies. It's pretty rare that anybody gets them. So I wanted to show you, so if we ever come in contact and you're like, hey, Maxton cookies, can I get some? We can talk about it. But it looks like a pretty great family, right? You know, it doesn't? Oh, wow. I'm gonna remember you. Yeah. things are great. You know, I'm an expert in leadership development. I focus on employee culture. I work for the company called Zell. Anybody familiar with Zell? All right, good. So I worked for Zell. I spent a lot of time building culture and employee experience. I also have been a podcaster. I've been on a lot of different podcasts. At the end of the day, who really cares that I do that? At the end of the day, I really want people to know that somebody cares about them. You know, I'm an author. I just released a book, and I'm a healthy mindset practitioner. And we're actually going to do some of that today. But look, at the end of the day, this is the story now. I'm 47. I can be the dad of all of you. At the end of the day, don't make it weird. At the end of the day, I'm 47 years in. But that's not how my story started. So this is me, class of 94, Cactus. Any adult here that went to Cactus High School? Anybody? What'd you say? Go Cobras. Go Cobras. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, go Cobras. This is me, class of 94. This is me and my brother. He's a year older than I am. Yes, we think we're cool. I know I wasn't. He may have been. Over on the other side, that's me, my senior year of high school. And then right in the middle, this person, this woman, I call her Aunt Darlene. She's actually just a friend from church. So here's the deal. Before I got to high school, my mom left me when I was 13. It was the last time she had left me because she had spent year over year leaving me multiple times. I don't know my dad. We grew up really poor. I grew up in Tucson, Arizona, and we relied on the church and government assistance to make ends meet. There were days and weeks where we didn't have electricity. There were seasons in our life where we had to eat food out of the trash. So my story now is different than my story as a child. And I desperately wanted to be a leader, but I didn't see how I could be because all of these things that had happened to me. And so when I would see kids in high school that were the football star and they were head in the student council, when they were smarter than me, they had better home lives than me, it seemed like their life was so much better. And I didn't know how to get any further down the road. So how did things change for me? Well, this woman in the middle, she's one of the first people that helped my life change. Because she was the woman that said, I will come alongside you. I will work with you. Because I see gifts inside of you. I see talent. I see a leader that I couldn't see. My 13-year-old self, my 14-year-old self, my 22-year-old self, I couldn't see how I could be a leader. And fast forward that, so I spent 22 years in banking. I worked for 2 different banks before I went to go work for Zell. And I got this amazing job in my mid-20s working for a regional office. Like, it's the big time job. And I was so excited to go and work because I had spent all this time in a branch to being a teller and doing several different jobs. I get to go do this job with this woman. Her name's Nan Ader. And I spent a couple of years and people started to know my name. They were like, oh, hey, what's up, Joe? Oh, good to see you, Joe. I could walk into a branch and be like, oh, Joe Maxton's here. And it felt really good until one day. I picked up the phone. I was in Nan's office, in our office, and I needed to call a branch. And I was like, hi, this is Joe Maxton calling from Nan's office. Can I speak to your branch manager? And the person on the other end of the line said, I'm sorry, who are you? And so I kind of mustered a little bit more confidence and I said, I'm Joe Maxton. I'm calling from Nan Ader's office. And he said, okay, hold on one second. And he goes and gets, he goes to find the manager. When he puts me on hold, I say out loud, I can't believe this guy doesn't know who I am. I was a jerk. And a couple of weeks later, Nan called me into her office and she said, hey, you know, Joe, at some point in your life, you're going to have to figure out your own influence. You're going to have to figure out who you are as a person because you can't rest on my influence for your entire career. See, Nan saw those same gifts that my Aunt Darlene saw in me that I couldn't see, but it was that moment in my career where I made a decision, this cannot be about me. If I want to be a strong leader, it cannot be about me. It has to be about other people. And so I went on this journey to not worry about the life that I had, the childhood of just constantly remembering that my mom left me, that I don't know my dad, that I grew up poor. I can't live in that space anymore because I know that there's something more important. People need to know that somebody cares about them. And that's why you're here. You're here because somebody cared about you. Somebody actually said, hey, I think you have potential to be a leader. And there is going to be a lot that we have to learn. But the first step is for us to figure out, how do we lead ourselves? All right, so there's a couple things that I'm going to ask you to do while we're together. But the first thing, I know we just had lunch. I have no idea what you guys had, but let's get you on your feet. So I'd love for you to stand up, and I want you to high five somebody next to you and say, dang, you look like a great leader. All right. You too. All right, let's go ahead and take a seat. Okay, if you can hear me, clap once, clap twice. All right, good job, guys. Okay, so there are a couple things that I need from you. First thing that I need from you is I need you to be curious, and I need you to be engaged. Like, be here. It can be really easy when there's some strange white guy up in the front talking, where you're like, I cannot relate to this guy at all, and you totally disconnect. Like, I get it, I've been there, but I need you to be right here in this present moment. The next thing that I need is, I need you to participate. So you guys did a great job, high fives. I'm going to ask you to do things throughout our time together, so participate. Last thing is, I want you to ask a question. And it may be that you're going to ask a question to yourself as we go through our time together. But I'm also going to leave some time at the back end for you to ask questions to me. You can ask whatever you want. Hopefully it's a leadership question, but I'm an open book, more than happy to answer any questions. But I want to leave some time because we're going to discover some things about ourselves that we might want to talk about a little bit more. So I want to just give a disclaimer right now. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not trained in those areas. But we're going to go to some places today where we're going to be challenged. And I want you to be in a place of curiosity so you can discover that more about yourself. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Our first question is, what do adults say to you when you're going somewhere? You're going to go hang out with friends. So yeah, just say it out loud to me. What do they typically say? Okay. When are you coming home? Where are you going? Have fun, yeah? Who's going to be there? No. When are you going to be back? Okay. They also say, can we get that? Be safe. Drink. How many of your parents say drink water? Yeah. Yeah. There's parents in the back raising their hands. Our parents, the adults say, be safe, be nice, have fun, make a friend, share. Do you remember that? What else do they say? Yes, absolutely. They also say, don't be oh. All right, let's get hey, we don't know who said that. That's all right. Yeah, we got to keep PG. Don't be follower, stranger, jerk. Don't be a jerk. Be nice. Right? How many of you, before you left, somebody said, take care of yourself? Couple? Okay. All right, more. Okay. How many of you had somebody say, be sure to reflect and understand what's going on in your heart and your head? No? Nobody? What? Nobody said that to you? There's a What's your name? What's it again? Alejandro? All right, Alejandro just said, I think there's like a cultural breakdown. Yes, there's a cultural breakdown. But here's the reality. If I can get my PowerPoint to move. Oh, there we go. We have to be able to lead ourselves before we can lead others. You know, and as we join Russell here, I had to get to a place of realizing that I was never going to be a successful leader until I could own who I was as an individual. And Russell, you know, he has a lot of experience. He's earned all these badges, and he actually has this playbook. And if you remember, we're about 20 minutes into the movie because there's this amazing story between Carl and his wife Ellie. Yes, exactly. So, and I didn't watch that part because I didn't want to be sad. But it's this beautiful story. And then we catch up with Carl when he's old. And there's a knock on the door. And he opens the door, and we see Russell. And Russell says, "Good afternoon. My name is Russell, and I am a wilderness explorer. Are you in need of any assistance today?" And what does Carl do? He slams the door. He's like, "Out, no." So then Russell knocks again. See, there's persistence. It's one of the reasons why I love Russell. He's persistent. Knocks on the door again. Carl's like, ugh. He's frustrated. He goes, he opens the door. "Good afternoon. My name is Russell." He starts to go through it again. And as Carl goes to close the door, what does Russell do? Puts his foot in the door. Yes, because he has persistence. He knows he needs somebody's help. And that's why Russell is with us. He's going to help us today. So then Carl relents, and he allows the door to open. So he needs to earn this badge. And you're going to be working to earn your badge today. Your badge on building leaders. Yes. There. Let's hold out. I'll leave you in suspense. All right. So here is, and I'm going to need you guys' help because there's a lot of you, and my voice goes back there, but maybe for another 20 minutes. Okay, this is what I need you to do. I need you to stand up. Okay? No talking. Okay? Just like stand up. Find a partner. Turn back to back. Okay, back to back. All right, here we go. Find a partner. Partner up. Find somebody. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, what we got? You need a partner? You guys are partnered up? Anybody else? Partner. Who needs a partner? Who needs a partner? All right. Okay, this is what I want you to do. All right, so teachers, if you need to step up, please do that. All right, so back to back. We got one more. Do you have a partner? All right, we need one more. All right, back to back. Okay, pretty simple. All I need you to do is look at yourself, and I want you to change one thing about your appearance. Okay? Just change one thing about your appearance. Think about it. Look at yourself real quick. You have 10 seconds. Make one change about your appearance. All right, 3, 2, 1. Turn around and figure out what they changed. All right, if you can hear me, clap once, clap twice, clap 3 times. Stay where you are. All right, back to back, one more time. All right, so change one thing, change 5 more things. 3, 2, 1, change 5 more things. All right, you got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn around. What did you change? If you can hear me, clap once. Clap twice. 3 times a lady. All right. Okay. Hey, guess what? One more time, back to back. Ah, come on. Come on. All right. Change 10 more things. I've seen some creativity around here. All right, all right. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, 10 more seconds. Three, 2, 1. Turn around. What changed? All right, if you can hear me, clap once. Clap twice. 3 times. All right, you can put yourself back together and go ahead and have a seat. Great job. All right, so let's talk about this experience. How was the first round for you? Easy, right? All right, second round when I was like, hey, change 5 more things. It's pretty hard. All right, so talk to me about how you felt when I said change 10 more things. Mad. Mad. Why were you mad? You don't have that many things to change. What'd you say? Right, we don't have anything on us. Yeah, it's frustrating. Yeah, okay, so let's answer some questions. Who found this difficult? All right, how about who found it easy? All right. All right, we got... Anybody give up? Yeah? Okay, you guys. Why did you give up?
Because I ran out of time.
You ran out of stuff. Okay.
I have a black shirt. I couldn't change it. My shorts aren't that this, right?
Yep.
All I have to do is just put my hair up.
Put your hair up. Okay. All right. Anybody have a creative solution? All right, I'm going to come back. Daisy and... Is it Maya? Daisy and Maya. What did the two of you do?
We just switched partners.
What? You switched partners? Why'd you switch partners? Oh man, that is beautiful. Yes, there are a million different things. All the cells in our body, yeah, it's changing more than just 10 things. So great job for being creative and working through that. So what's happening? What do you think's happening internally when I'm like, change one thing. All right, turn around. What did you see? Change 5 things. Okay, turn around. Change 10 things. What happens emotionally? What's going on? What's wrong? What's wrong with us? You're frustrated. I'm sorry. Say that again. You got annoyed. Why did you get annoyed? Is it because you are wearing all black?
Yeah, and I have nothing to change.
You have nothing to change into. So once we start to see that there's something going on, we're just like, I can't do it. This is frustrating. I don't like you. There's a lot of things because we're being asked to do something over and over quickly. So what's actually happened is there's a villain. Right? Do you guys remember these guys? Both the dogs and Charles Muntz. So, all right, clap once, clap twice. So Charles Muntz is the villain here. Yeah, at the beginning, he's like, adventurers out there, you think he has good intentions because he's trying to show people the world and the amazement of adventure. But what actually is happening is this guy's trying to collect trophies. And he's a lot like our negative talk. That perspective around, I can't do this, I'm going to fail. And we all have villains that show up in our lives. You know, it might be while we're doing an activity like this. It might be when we're by ourselves. The reality is we have to be able to address those feelings. So I want to ask for somebody's help. I need a volunteer. Somebody who, well, you don't even know what I'm going to do yet. I love it. You're like, me. So somebody that knows how to like give the stink eye. Like, okay, let me give you a couple more. Okay. Oh, all right. Give me just 1 second. 1 second. You know how to like look at someone and tell the entire story with just a look. Like, oh, you know what you did. Oh, I'm about to cut you. Like, get that. Okay, all right. So let's see. So we got one. I need one volunteer. Israel is Ramon. Well, it says Israel. Okay. All right, Ramon, you can do this. All right, come on up here.
Yeah, Ramon!
All right, let's give him a hand. All right. Thank you. All right, so Ramon, I think I'm gonna do this because I'm gonna lose my voice pretty quick. So Ramon, what I need you to do is I'm gonna turn my back to you. There's some reverb. This is kind of awesome. Like, I feel like I'm Beyonce or something. It's pretty cool. So I'm gonna turn my back, and then I want you to just come up with that whatever that look is, and I'm gonna turn around. Okay, you guys are gonna help me to tell me when he's ready. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Ramon. I think that means he's ready. All right, here we go. Oh, dang it. All right. I have definitely made you upset. I wonder, like, what did I do? I am out. I'm out. Whew. You can hold it too. Okay. All right, can you show it to everybody else? So, have you ever run into somebody who might look at you like that in the hallway? Yeah? Wait, did you just say yourself? Yeah, sometimes. All right, go ahead. Actually, stay here for just a second. Okay, so the reality is, when we see somebody, we're going to use this as a specific example because I think we've all probably seen somebody who looks at us like this. And just, you can't smile, man. Come on, you got to stay in character. You're killing me. Oh, thank you. Okay. When somebody looks at, we start to think, oh crap, what did I do? Why are they mad at me? And then we start running through all these different conversations about what's up. And so there's actually something happening. Nope. There we go. Brain science. Where are my science nerds? Where are my STEM kids? Yeah, STEM kids. Yes. So look, the reality, you guys probably already know this. So there's brain science happening when we see somebody and we're like, oh, crap. We start processing what's going on. In our amygdala, which is the lizard part of our brain at the very back, it's only designed to do 3 things: fight, flight, and freeze. So I look at Ramon, give me the look, and I'm like ready to fight. All right, let's do this, man. Or I might be like, oh crap, he's really ticked off at me. I'm going to go another direction. Or I might just freeze because I don't know what I'm going to do. Because the chemicals in our body, adrenaline and cortisol, are starting to shoot through our bodies. Now, this was designed for a specific reason a long time ago when we were hunters and gatherers and we had to actually fight a bear or we had to fight against a saber-toothed tiger because there were all of these elements that we had to protect ourselves from. But we live still in this space of shutting down, of fight, flight, or freeze. But what we want to do is we want to move into this space around the prefrontal cortex, our logic part of our brain. And that's where all these good feelings come in. So we create curiosity of like, I wonder what's going on with Ramon. Instead of, holy crap, Ramon's mad at me. And actually, you know what? Ramon may just have... Ramon may just have to fart. Like, that's possible. It's possible. There you go. Thank you. So I know teenagers don't fart, just old people do. But the reality is, we may not know everything that's going on. And for us to be self-aware, we have to be able to pause and get into a space where we're able to think longer about the situation instead of reacting. Because when we're in our amygdala, we're reacting. As a leader, we're going to have to pause and we're going to have to be able to lead the people that we're with down the road, up a hill. I heard you guys had to hike this hill a couple of times. We're going to have to lead people. So there's something going on here. So we all have these mental models. So now this is, it died? Okay. All right. So we have, and you know what? It's okay because it looks like my thing's not working anyway. So we have mental models. Each one of us, because of how we've grown up, we have these mental models of around specific words. So tell me, when you hear the word Monday, what do you think? Yep, exactly. What about last day of school? Yes. Teachers, you're probably like, Dutch Bros. Okay. How do you guys feel about Dutch Bros? Yeah! All right. Okay. How about chores? Yeah. Well, there's right up here, guys. So there's something that's happening. Our responses, we're looking through a specific lens of how our life has been shaped, how we grew up, the culture, if there was religious influence or no religious influence, who was in the home, the type of environment we have with our parents or whoever helped us grow up, if we had siblings or not, if race was a central conversation or it wasn't a central conversation. Because we all have this lens that we see life through. It's called bias. Now, I know that there's a lot of conversation around bias is negative. Now, it's not substantively negative. It's what we do with our bias that really impacts us and others. So let me give you an example. How many of you guys like pizza? Can I get some pizza people in here? Okay. All right. How many of you like pepperoni pizza? All right. Yes, pepperoni pizza. How many of you like pepperoni and pineapple pizza? Oh, here, look. That's a bias. If you like pepperoni and pineapple pizza, but you don't like sausage pizza, it's a bias. Okay, let me give you another one. All right, we're talking about food, so cottage cheese. Oh, see? See? Now, let's pause for just a second. Think about those of you that said, ugh. Think about why you said that. I am too. I love cottage cheese and I'm lactose intolerant. Not a good mix. But the reality is we have this bias and we have to be aware of it because it's part of the lens that we see life through. So what do we do? How do we actually get to a space of being able to say, all right, I need to pause for just a minute. If we remember Ramon up here giving me the glare, I needed to understand the why behind it. So you were fantastic. So good job. So we need some tools to be able to do that. And that's where our first tool comes in. Mindset shift. So if you've done anything like, if you've done therapy, if you've done yoga, meditation, or maybe even when you were a kid and you were frustrated and your parents or your guardian said, hey, pause for just a second. Breathe. Like they say, you may have said time out. So there's something that's actually happening, because when we are in fight, flight, freeze, when we have that amygdala going, all we actually need to do is we need to pause. And we need to breathe, because it brings us into this perspective so we can start to ask questions around what else could be happening, to move past the negative assumptions. My negative assumption was Ramon was mad at me, and it may not have been anything that I did. He may have been having a bad day. He may have studied really hard on a test and then didn't do well, and he got the grade back. So it might not be about me. We see this all the time in social media. On any social platform, we see somebody that is being negative, and we look at this first layer and we're like, such a jerk. I don't like that person. But when we're able to pause and start thinking about, well, I don't want to make negative assumptions. I want to have a different perspective. And this is where the brilliance of curiosity comes into play. Asking what else could be happening right now? What else could have been happening for Ramon? Or what else could have been happening with the friends that stopped talking to you? What else could be happening with the person that's being a jerk to the cashier at Dutch Bros? And then when we start thinking about that, it allows us to settle ourselves so we can get into a place where we can be calm. Because when we were doing the exercise where you're back to back, there was a lot of chaos. It was hard for you to hear me. It was hard for you to think about what you wanted to do. And it was hard for you to now look at the person that's in front of you, because we're moving so quickly. And so what we need to do to be able to lead ourselves is we actually have to slow down so we can be calm. Because being calm is contagious. Even in the way that I'm talking right now, it's different than I was talking about the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. Because when I can be calm, when there's chaos with the club that I'm leading, with the group of friends that I'm with, if I'm playing sports and everybody's just kind of running around, it's hard for all of us to focus. But if I can create calmness, that can be contagious, and then everybody can be well engaged, and we can do something amazing in our clubs. We can use the skills that people have already seen in us to help lead, not only now, but as we graduate high school, as we go even further in life. So we're going to do another exercise here. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about 3 things that bring you joy. 3 things that make you really happy, and the 3 things that don't. Okay, so take just a minute. Go ahead and do that. 3 things that bring you joy, and then 3 things that don't. All right, you got them? You got them? Okay, I'm going to ask you to do something. Your neighbor, just take just a minute. I'd like for you to share the one thing that brings you joy. Share it with them right now. All right. Let's go ahead and come back. All right, I want you to hold the thing that doesn't bring you joy, because I want to show you something here. So let's think of this as our emotions. This is kind of our life, what's going on. And we have these things that bring us joy. They fill up our tank. But we have these things that don't bring us joy, things that frustrate me. So I'll share some things that frustrate me. Traffic. People who drive in the carpool lane who are not carpooling. and drama. Drama is really frustrating. And those things drain my tank. And what happens is, as my tank continues to drain, I might first just be stressed out. I might be overwhelmed. But as it continues to drain, I can get rude. I can get defensive. I'm kind of basically hangry because my emotions are suffering. So when you start to allow things that don't bring you joy to drain too much of you, you need to start putting 2 times the amount of things that bring you joy. So think again about what are the 3 things that bring you joy. Think about it for a second. Now think about the thing that doesn't bring you joy. Do you spend more time with the things that bring you joy when you're stressed? Some of you do? Great, that's awesome. And that's building that practice. But for most of us, we don't. We stay here. So for us to be able to lead ourselves, we need to be aware of the things that bring us joy so we can focus on taking care of ourselves. Because it's pretty difficult if you're injured and you're supposed to be leading, it's really hard to lead the rest of the group. And that's where we need to be able to set our intention. So setting our intention, our why. Once you start thinking about why are you here? Why did you decide to start being part of a club? Why did you decide that you were going to be in a leadership role? Did somebody tell you? Did somebody encourage you? So earlier I said, I want people to know that somebody cares about them. But I didn't start with being able to say that. It took a long time for me to realize this is my why. This is what gets me out of bed. I read this book from Simon Sinek, and you can watch the YouTube video. It's the same thing. He has a book called Start With Why. And a lot of us spend so much time on what we do, who we are. I play sports. I worked for Zell. I'm a teacher. I work at Dutch Bros. I do this. It's the what instead of the why. And so when Nan told me that I needed to start thinking about how I was going to influence the world, I needed to figure out my why. And so as you are moving into this time as a leader in your club, start thinking about, well, why am I doing this? Is it, because it's cool. Okay, so why is it cool? Well, because I get to hang out with some new people that are part of something that I'm interested in. Okay, and why is that important? Well, because it creates a level of relationship, relatability. Okay, and why is that important to you? And you keep going through this why, and this is called 5 whys. And being able to ask a question, ultimately, it got me to, I want people to know that somebody cares about them. As we catch up with Russell and Carl, they've introduced 2 new characters. They introduced Doug. You guys remember Doug? He was part of the dog group, and he speaks in English, which is kind of nice. And he says squirrel all the time. And they've also found Kevin. Now, Kevin's the trophy that the villain's looking for, right? So the villain is on the hunt, and they come across Kevin, and they have to build trust with Kevin. Because Kevin's actually a mama, and there to protect her own little ones. And it took time for them to build trust, and that's what we have to do. So this is from a book called 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. Yeah, it's very corporate, it's very business sounding. But look, here's the end that we need to understand. We've got to be able to build trust, and trust takes time. Just like the time that Russell and Carl had to take to build with Kevin, you're not going to build trust overnight unless you're in an environment like this. I've heard about the activities that you guys did yesterday and what you did last night and what you've been doing today, and then even what you're going to do after you leave our time together today. Trust is the factor that builds relationship. Because if you don't have trust, it's really hard to deal with conflict. If I don't trust you, I don't want you to tell me, hey, you're being a jerk. Because I'll be like, you're a jerk. And things start to escalate. Again, we get into our amygdala. Instead, we want to be in a place of where we build trust and we can talk about conflict. We can talk about commitments, and we can start holding one another accountable, because the results are people are going to want to come to our club because they're like, that club is different. Because we know how to lead ourselves, so we can go and lead others in our team. All right, here's our last thing. Did you know that you are comprised of the 5 people you spend the most time with? You guys are a lot more smarter than I was, man. I'm like, wait, what? So I want you to start thinking, who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? So do you have high connectedness to those people? So come back here. So do you have high connectedness to those people? Are they positive? Okay. Are they medium connection? Are they positive most of the time? Or are they negative? Because at the end of the day, you are going to be the combination of those 5 people. So the beautiful thing is you get to make the choice. So understanding who we're connected to really matters. So it might be a moment of where you're going to start to think, well, who else do I need to be connected to? Who are the people that are positive influence in my life? So we're in this beautiful countryside right now where I can't friendly pines. And if you cut one of these trees down, they're going to have these tree rings. And this is the span of life for that tree. You know, at the beginning, it's kind of hard to see up here, but at the beginning, that center, that's the sapling. That's where you started to grow. And then there'll be a space of where you can see the rings are really close because there wasn't any rain. And then a storm hit, and there's a scar in there. And then there's a place of where there's good rain. So there's like this big gap between the rings. And then there's disease, the bugs. The bark beetles, specifically here in Prescott, killed a lot of these pine trees. And then there might be a fire. But we can also look at that as part of our life. So at the very beginning, it might be like, hey, this is the beginning of my high school career. This is the first time I was a leader. Oh, I made a mistake there. I got my first job, or I went through a breakup, and then I moved cities. So if we start looking at life of each experience adds to my ring, then it helps us see that we have so much life to live, and we can reflect back on that experience. So at the very end of the movie, Russell shows up, and his dad's not there. All the other dads are there. And then Carl comes on the stage, and he says he's not going to just give him an assisting the elderly badge. He's going to give him the Ellie badge. He says, for assisting the elderly and performing above and beyond the call of duty, the highest honor I can bestow upon you is giving you the Ellie badge. And he takes the badge that Ellie, when they were kids, that he had, and he gives it to Russell. So as we wrap up, we've done a lot of Explorer activities. We've talked about up and down spiral, that pause and that perspective. We've talked about mental models and your why and building trust. And then we talked about our connection and having that level of connectivity. And then our tree rings, that growth mindset. So what are we going to do next? Well, we need to practice. Now practice, I heard all my life, practice makes perfect. That's actually not true, because nothing is perfect. Practice makes permanent. And so I have lived a life of practicing leading myself and leading others. And now you have some skills to be able to start leading others. So congratulations, you are going to get your building leaders badge. So some of the faculty are going to pass those out to you. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to put this somewhere where people at school can see it. So you can talk about it. And then so when you see somebody else's, you can say, dang, you look like a great leader. Because we need people alongside us to encourage us so we can continue to build as a leader. All right, thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it.